What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking about something that I have recently discovered that I didn't even know I was missing my entire life. Something that has now brought me so much satisfaction, meaningfulness, and overall happiness into my life. Some people call this the most wonderful time of the year. I think I have just now discovered one of the most wonderful things in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! What am I talking about? I am talking about the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX dubbed, the 4Kids version. It is absolutely spectacular and glorious in almost every way imaginable. If you've never seen the GX dub, I highly implore you to watch it. They're having a marathon on twitch.tv. No, this is not a sponsored video, but I started watching it about 4 days ago, and I didn't really know what to expect going into GX. A lot of people, especially during the time that GX first started, during the GX era when I was playing back then, a lot of people were kind of going into GX thinking, what is this? This is just a spin-off series. There's no way it can be good. It's no way it can stand up to the original. But that's actually one of the things that I've noticed about GX is it feels like its own completely different thing. It feels like it has its own identity and that it's perfectly happy being a completely separate show from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! DM. And one of the things that I love, in fact, no, the thing that I love the most about GX, and yes, I'm even talking about the corny 4Kids dub, it's just so damn hilarious. It actually feels cringy and it feels so corny at times that's actually one of the things that makes it like so brilliant. It actually goes so far, I guess, in the opposite direction of the original DM series, where a lot of times, and don't get me wrong, I love the original DM, whether it's subbed or dubbed, but a lot of times with the original DM, it feels so melodramatic at times with like Joey and his blind sister and how he has to duel for her and Grandpa's kidnapped and stuff. GX feels so different. It feels almost like it never takes itself seriously. Now, I'm not sure how I would have felt about GX if I was, I don't know, maybe a 12-year-old kid. I feel like the jokes wouldn't land as much, but it really feels like they went for a completely different feel of GX. GX almost feels like a comedy show. Like I'm watching the dubbed and there are all of these ridiculous situations, but you know, there's an episode where Jaden has to duel against a scientifically enhanced monkey who ends up taking one of the Obelisk Blue Girls, and he's basically kidnapping her. He picks her up a la King Kong and just starts running off with her. And one of the other Obelisk Blue Girls is kind of standing there, and she's like, oh, it's always what so-and-so wanted, to be swept off her feet by her Prince Charming. Like, just small stuff like that I think is actually, I just smiled. I'm like, wow, that's actually kind of funny. You know, the monkey is carrying the girl, and they're swinging through the forest, and the girl is like, she's like beating on the monkey's head, and she's like, no, you wouldn't want me. I'm high maintenance. It almost feels like the dub actors are kind of, in a way, making fun of the show. The show is just so over the top. I look at some of the situations, and you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole, especially probably like the first few series, you know, up until like 5Ds and stuff, you know, there were so many ridiculous just situations, like Tristan gets turned into a robotic monkey, and there are so many over the top things where you're just like, wow, the world is in the fate of a card game. But in GX, I feel like they take it to a completely different level. I've seen episodes within the first couple of seasons, somewhat sporadically, and the situations in this show are just utterly ridiculous. Like the episode where I just said, where Jaden has to duel a scientifically enhanced dueling monkey. Or I could choose any of the 3 love duels that I've seen so far, like when Chaz duels against Alexis, and he gets this crazy idea that he's in love with Alexis because he has a dream about her where he kisses her. So he immediately challenges her, with the stipulation being if he wins, she has to go out on a date with him. There's also one of my favorites, where Jaden duels against this stoner kid on the rooftop, and the kid plays Moki Moki, and the show does a really good job, and I think it's completely unintentional. The show does a really good job of working in these hilarious stereotypes, which some people might watch it and be like, that's offensive, but I just think that they're hilarious, and I don't think it's intentional. They make this stoner kid who's all relaxed and chill, they make him feel like the prototypical, or no, I'll say stereotypical, you know, California kid who's always relaxed, dude. Let's just go smoking and let's surf and chill and good vibrations. And he says a lot of that stuff too, When it comes to Jaden and some of the other characters, I feel like a lot of the characters are really awesome. I understand why people like Jaden so much. He is an incredibly likable character. His dueling style, I don't think is as likable. In fact, I don't really prefer his dueling style at all because I feel like he completely relies on maybe about 3 or 4 extremely gimmicky and kind of broken plays, like special summon Bubble Man, draw 2, which, you know, that's not how the card works in real life, but it's the anime, so I get it. He relies on the Mirage of Nightmare into emergency provisions play a ton, which obviously nets you 4 cards, and that's exactly what got that card banned. I think it's incredible that they worked that into the anime. But him as a character, I like when he's dueling how he'll routinely compliment his opponent. Like, even when he's losing, he'll tell his opponent, like, man, that was a sweet play, but watch out, I got something like this. And it's like, wow, we've got a character that shows good sportsmanship throughout the entire duel and really just plays the game for fun, but it doesn't come off as corny. Even when he loses a duel, like when he lost against Zane the first time, I guess I'm throwing so many spoilers in this, but I mean, GX is like a decade old, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. He, you know, the first thing he does is congratulate Zane, and he's like, man, that was one heck of a duel, and I find it just genuine. I know that I think post Yubel, which I don't believe this dub. I know people are going to say that. Hey, Cap, the last season, season 4 didn't get dubbed, which I don't know if that is Yubel or after Yubel. Apparently, Jaden gets all edgy, and I would understand why people wouldn't like that because he is such a likable guy. But the character that completely takes over the show is my favorite character. And even though he was my favorite character, I didn't actually realize how awesome he was. I knew certain things about Chaz, but I didn't know how awesome he was. Chaz absolutely takes over this show, and he is by far the best character on this show. He is not a Kaiba ripoff. He's so much more. He's so unique. He doesn't feel like he doesn't feel like Kaiba comes off a lot of times as unlikable. And don't get me wrong, Chaz is an absolute jerk, but he does it in such a cool way. He's always calling people dorks and losers. Even when he loses constantly on this show, it's either funny or he still just acts like I'm still Chaz and you're still a loser because I'm Chaz. I love it when he goes to the rival duel school and the chancellor there, it gives him a deck and he's like, you will Chaz it up, and there's like this whole crowd of people that are all like, Chaz it up.
And I present to him North Academy's top dueling cards. With them you will triumph. You will Chaz it up. Chaz it up! Chaz it up! Chaz it up! Chaz it up! Duel Academy is toast!
His relationship with his Ojamas is probably the best thing I've encountered on the entire show. When Jaden has like the Wing Karibo, because certain characters have like dueling spirits and basically the cards become real and they can kind of talk to them, which is fine. Jaden kind of has a relationship with Karibo where he just kind of makes this like little noise and it's supposed to be cute and endearing. But Chaz's relationship with the Ojamas is so much, it's so much more than that. It's hilarious. It's kind of like they call him boss, and even they kind of have like stereotypical personalities. They're like the Three Stooges and they imitate them. Everything they do is for like comedic value. Even in the duel where Chaz goes bad and Jaden is trying to save Chaz from himself, from his brainwashing, when Chaz gets the Ojamas back, the Ojamas immediately betray Jaden and they're all like, it was his idea. He threatened us with force. He threatened us with violence. The show even has a lot of other characters that I wasn't sure if I was actually going to like. Even some of them I thought I was going to hate, but they end up being used in the right way so that they feel like they get the most out of them. Cyrus is a perfect example. I thought I was just going to hate this kid. I thought, okay, typical nerd, woe is me, probably is terrible because I know his IRL archetype is absolute garbage, but they don't have Cyrus duel all that much. He's mainly a character that's in the back kind of spectating the duel, and he gets enough witty one-liners in that he actually is quite tolerable. Dr. Crowler is somebody who really impressed me. I did not think I was going to like him. I thought that he was just going to be the conniving teacher who is just an antagonist, but he's actually quite likable because of how much he hates Jaden, how much they clash, and he's always trying to get him expelled, and overall he's just hilarious. Even though he's a jerk, and even though he's not actually that great at dueling, and he always talks about, I have a PhD in dueling, he's just absolutely funny. There are a couple of characters that so far I think are kind of dry Like, Zane doesn't seem to have that much personality to him. Maybe that could just be from the dub. And there's a couple of others like Chumley where it's just like, man, please don't have more than like 1 or 2 duels in the entire show, because I can't stand to watch you and your fucking stupid koalas. But even then, you know, they have kind of like long running gags about how he likes grilled cheese and everything he thinks about is food related, where I'm like, yeah, as long as they keep using you as like that and they don't give you too many episodes, dude, I feel like you can actually fulfill your potential. So what do you guys ultimately think? I know I'm super late to this party, but yeah, I'm watching GX right now and I am absolutely loving it. And a lot of you guys should probably check out the Twitch marathons of the Yu-Gi-Oh shows, because they're doing Zexal, they're doing 5Ds, and they're doing GX as well. So whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Have a happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Jaden, we're with you. Come on, everybody. Jaden it up. Jaden it up.
Tell him how it really goes!
Mess it up. Show him no mercy.